Hi everybody, today, in this video, we want to talk about the history of Apple and the production of its first phone, and its progress until today. Apple Inc. is an American multinational corporation and technology company headquartered and incorporated in Cupertino, California, in Silicon Valley. It is best known for its consumer electronics, software, and services. Founded in 1976 as Apple Computer Company by Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak and Ronald Wayne. It was renamed Apple Inc. in 2007 as the company had expanded its focus from computers to consumer electronics. Apple Computer Company was founded on April 1, 1976, by Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne as a partnership. The company's first product is the Apple I, a computer designed and hand-built entirely by Wozniak. To finance its creation, Jobs sold his Volkswagen bus, and Wozniak sold his HP 65 calculator. Wozniak debuted the first prototype Apple I at the Homebrew Computer Club in July 1976. The Apple I was sold as a motherboard with CPU, RAM, and basic textual video chips. Apple Computer Inc. was incorporated in Cupertino, California, on 1977, without Wayne, who had left and sold his share of the company back to Jobs and Wozniak for $800 only 12 days after having co-founded it. During the first 5 years of operations, revenues grew exponentially, doubling about every 4 months. The Apple II, also designed by Wozniak, was introduced on April 16, 1977, at the first West Coast Computer Fair. The Apple I and early Apple II models use ordinary audio cassette tapes as storage devices. In the same year, Apple introduced the Apple II computer, which was a commercial failure due to its high price and some hardware problems. In 1983, Apple introduced the Apple Lisa computer, which was commercially unsuccessful despite being equipped with a graphical user interface and a mouse. One of the reasons for this lack of success was its high price and slowness. 1984 was the year of the introduction of the Macintosh computer. This computer had a Motorola 68000 processor with a clock frequency of 7.8 MHz and was equipped with a mouse. While Jobs was one of the leading figures and spiritual leaders of Apple, critics have also raised the issue that he was a capricious and busy manager. In 1985, a conflict arose between Jobs and Sculley. Jobs told Sculley, "You're not right for Apple or to lead it." Sculley asked the managers to choose between him and Jobs. They unanimously chose Sculley. After leaving Apple, Jobs founded another computer company called Next in 1985 with a capital of $7 million. In 1989, Jobs created the powerful Next computer. Although the company was not able to sell the Next computer in high volume, this computer had one distinct feature. The first web browser was built on it. Because of innovation and experimental new technologies, Jobs usually turns to academic and scientific fields to market Next products. On 1996, Apple bought Next. During this deal, Steve Jobs returned to Apple. After Jill Amelio was fired in July 1997, Jobs became the de facto CEO of Apple, but he refused to accept this position permanently. In an organizational shakeup that same month, most of Apple's board members were replaced. Steve Jobs finally removed the word interim from his title at the 2000 World Expo after 2.5 years of service at Apple and became the permanent CEO. Important events after this issue in Apple include the introduction of the iPod in 2001, the unveiling of the iTunes Store in 2003, the introduction of the iPhone in 2007 and the iPad in 2010. Jobs' kidney problems, kidney stones, indirectly led to the discovery of his cancer. When Jobs had a CT scan of his kidneys at the request of a urologist in October 2003, it was found that his kidneys were healthy, but that there was a shadow on his pancreas. After the tests, it was found that he was diagnosed with cancer. One of the doctors even told him that he would not survive for a few more months. Steve Jobs died on Wednesday, October 5, 2011 at the age of 56. Jobs' death certificate shows that he died around 3 p.m. at his home in Palo Alto, California, of respiratory arrest caused by pancreatic cancer. In August 2011, Tim Cook took the helm of Apple as a replacement for the late Steve Jobs, and through all the challenges and stable management, he was able to turn Apple into the most valuable company in the world. In the following video, the history of iPhone phones along with their specifications will be shown to you. Apple introduced the iPhone 4S on October 4, 2011, and this device was released 10 days later. One day after the release of iPhone 4S, Steve Jobs, one of the founders and most prominent figures of Apple, died. The reception of Apple's iPhone 4S was exemplary. 24 hours after the launch, Apple managed to sell more than 1 million units of this phone. For days after the launch, the sales figures crossed the 4 million mark. In the following months, Apple made the iPhone 4S available to more fans. The letter S in the name of iPhone 4S refers to Siri Voice Assistant. At that time, Siri was one of the exclusive features of the iPhone 4S, but later it made its way to other Apple products.